Nakikita niyo na screen? Good day, everyone. At this juncture, we are being assigned to discuss important and authentic informations about assessing oral outputs in arts. And in our today's discussion, we are about to know the concept of oral outputs, the following examples of different oral outputs in arts, the importance of assessment in oral outputs, as well as the different types of assessment that can be used in assessing the oral outputs of students in arts. And let's start our meaningful discussion with the statement we've stated here. And before that, allow me first to introduce my co-members that will discuss important informations in our today's discussion. So our team composed of yours truly, Miss Junette Guzman, Miss Jerica Malbog, and Mr. Prince Amonte. And let's start our discussion with the statement we've stated here. And according to this, providing new learning experiences to your pupils without pressuring them to learn the subject or the art subject or lesson is truly a must. So which is true. And as a future educator, teacher, it is important that we will provide adequate activities or opportunities to our students that they will greatly enjoy. And we must provide them new learning experiences that they can feel comfortable, so they can feel motivated to work on something, to do or something independently by pair or by group. And as we provide new learning experiences with our students, it is important also that we must begin with something that our students are interested in. It can be based on their prior knowledge, experiences, and current knowledge of the lesson or the art lesson. And with our support, in their learning process, we can assist them in improving or in adding to their prior experiences in order to help them learn and gain more knowledge about the art subject. And one of the essential activities that we future teachers can provide with our students is the oral outputs. And when we say oral outputs, it is a very accurate indicator of student knowledge, like in art subject. So why I can say that these oral outputs are a very accurate indicator of student knowledge. As you all know, when we say oral, it has something to do with speaking skills or speaking ability. And this oral output, not just only the speaking skill is being enhanced, but also the reading, the listening skills of the students, and also the ability of the students to create informations, to build informations that they will be putting on their oral outputs that we will be presenting into the class. And also these oral outputs, it provides students with additional motivation to study independently, to work by group, and also in these oral outputs, it can give students the opportunity to teach or learn something with their peers. And in fact, this the disadvantage of oral output is that sometimes a teacher has to make subjective judgments about the work. So for us future teacher to avoid misconceptions, misunderstandings, when we are giving an activity such oral outputs, different activities under oral outputs with our students, it is important also that we will provide a grade criterion or a rubrics for us to have a standard or guide in giving grades with our students. And to continue our discussion, here is Miss Jeanette Guzman.
Thank you, Ms. Bosa. Good day, everyone. And for the example of oral output, first is the oral reporting. Next slide po. So oral reporting, it is a form of assessment that calls on students to use spoken words to express their knowledge and understanding of the topic. This can be performed individually or in small group. It is a part of the oral output for arts since teachers evaluate how students express their ideas and meaning of their own output or artwork. Example of this are oral report for their artwork, oral presentation for their projects, and other more. By the use of this, it practices their speaking skills, presentation skills, listening skills, and the skills of anticipating how to present something in a way that will be understandable as well as appealing to the audience. Next slide po. Next is the speeches. It is a kind of activity where students are evaluated in their delivery. Teachers evaluates in how students show gestures, diction or pronunciation, and intonation, which is a part of art. And by the use of this, students also evaluates their speaking skills, presentation skills, and increase their self-esteem. Example of this are argumentative and persuasive and other speeches. Also, we have the role playing. In role playing, it is an assessment activity in which candidates act out an imaginary scenario that closely mirrors real life situations that apply the topic you have discussed to them. Teacher evaluates on how students present and portray the person that they are copying. This kind of activity increases student involvement in the subject, cooperation, teamwork, and unique ideas. And lastly, it applies conversational skills that can be used in real life situations. Next spot. And lastly is the answering questions from teachers and peers. This involves the art of questioning. Since students, especially in elementary grades, they are curious in everything. Therefore, it is important that we have this kind of assessment to challenge the students if they really understood a given topic because you are involving open-ended question and close-ended question that increases the intellectual aspect of your students. If the students didn't understand the given question, then it is important that the teacher rephrases his or her questions to elaborate and be understood by your student. So the output that teacher is getting is the answer of the students. And for the importance of assessment in oral outputs, we have Mr. Samonte to discuss it with you.
Importance of assessment in all reports. Assessment is very important in all reports in order to one, determine whether on the goals on the other subjects are being met. First, we need to assess if the objectives are mentioned are met by and how we teach the students or our sub or yeah, the subjects. And okay. Please determine or not the data the subjects are being met. There is really some so
Hello, rinig ako pa ganito?
Yes po.
Hello, rinig ako, be?
Naririnig.
Okay, sige, ayan. Again. For the next topic is the importance of assessment in oral outputs. Assessment is highly important in oral outputs in order to 1. Determine whether or not the goals of the art subjects are being met. for us educators and for us teachers, it is a must and it is a need for us to know if the the goals of the art subjects that we are teaching are being met by our students. But because in that case, we are able to know if the students knew what we are being taught to them. The second one is ensure that learners can judge their own progress in relation to achieving lessons objectives. In this, we need students need to identify if they have their progress in doing art subject, because as all of us know, doing art subject is depending on the viewpoint of one of an artist or an student. So in this, we need to know the judgment of their art first, because in that way we can identify what they want to show on that art, and see on we can see on what they want to portray on the art that they are doing. The third one is to generate feedback to students that can use to improve their performance in arts. So as teachers, we need to check before we do something, or before we do something activity regarding to art. First we need to give them the the criteria that they need to do, or they need to meet on doing the art subject. And upon deliberating their artworks, we need to give our perspective and our feedback to our students, so that in that way we can help to nourish their ideas, and we can help to develop their skills more on how to do an art.
Okay, so good day everyone. I am Jerica Marbo. Let's move on to the different types of assessment can be used in assessing the oral outputs of students in art. For the first one, we have oral assessment, in which students will speak to provide evidence of their learning. In this type of assessment, it helps the students to develop verbal communication skills, as well as to assess the works of the students on how well they done their work and give feedbacks or immediate reaction and response. Also, in this type of assessment, false report and plagiarism is avoided, as no formal structure is used and direct questions is given to the learners regarding their outputs. For the second one, we have criterion reference assessment, in which the learner's oral output will be assessed using a set of criteria. So students should be informed about the criteria and discuss it to them, ensuring that the presentation and speaking skills is included. Using a rubric, there will be it will be helpful as a students work well when they know what's expected to them and how they will be marked. Also, the criterion reference assessment is great in assessing students' oral outputs in art, as it assesses if they meet the standards that is set. That's all. Thank you.